She's a fashion blogger, model, and entrepreneur.
She's amazing.
The latest tips on fashion, beauty, wellness, travel, and her lifestyle. And now, here's the founder and creator of Not Basic Blonde, Olasha.
Hi, David. I'm so glad to have you on my podcast. How are you today?
I'm terrific. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to sharing wisdom and experience to help other people and empower them to be happy. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you for being my guest. And we have a few minutes, so we'll jump in right away. And would you please tell us about yourself, your career briefly?
Yeah, sure. So I started my career in technology and ended up running Samsung's first phone division. After that, I met a guy named Leigh Steinberg, the most notable sports agent in the world. And I was CEO of Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment. And then about 13 years ago, Warren Moon, the Hall of Fame quarterback, and I, we spun off a sports marketing firm, a global sports marketing firm, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. And from there, the last 4 years, I've built my own brand with a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. So I have TV shows like Elevator Pitch, 2-Minute Drill, and Office Hours. I have a podcast, Entrepreneurs, the Playbook. I have another playbook called Sports Entertainment at the Win with Blue Wire. I have books, trainings every Friday for over 21 years, all with one sole purpose in mind, to help people make money, to help other people and have fun. In other words, to be happy.
It's wonderful. And I also know you had a few challenges on the way to your success. What is the great lesson that bankruptcy taught you?
Yeah, so I lost over $100 million and went bankrupt. I went from 33 homes, everything I wanted in life that I wanted to afford, to a rented house with rented furnitures and one car. And the lesson that I learned was to take stock in who I was and what I wanted to become, to take stock in gratitude, which gave perspective, the ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything, even losing everything. Forgiveness, which gives us peace and certainty. And then, of course, accountability, which allowed me to take control of my own life, to no longer live in liability and blame, shame, justification, but to be accountable for everything and to ask myself, what did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And then finally, shifting the paradigm of effective communication from communicating to other people, wondering what they're listening or if they're listening to me, instead finding out what people are listening for, and shifting the paradigm of effective communication, not only to communicate to others, but most importantly, to communicate to the greatest source, the omniscient source, the all-powerful source of everything, and acknowledge what you've received by appreciating it, by adding my value to it, and giving it away to others.
Wow, I love it. My number one lesson is always if I go through any challenges, I always ask myself, why do I need to go through this lesson? What do I need to learn from this? And I always ask myself the same, and I try to find the best out of any situation.
Yeah, pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes are all just indicators that we have a better place to be. It's an indicator, not a stop sign. It's a turn signal, not a stop sign. It allows us to get to, like you said, if we learn that lesson, it allows us to get to a better place, a better position to make our situation better. So utilize pain as an indicator, as a propeller, propelling us to something better, not punishment to make us stop.
I agree, yeah. And what should a person do when they face no in sales?
So I have several different rules of no. The first is a 3-no rule in sales, that if somebody gives me no, in fact, I have a universal no rule that says not only if someone says no, but if things don't work out, somebody gets a flat tire, misses a meeting, doesn't answer, I call that a universal no. So after 3 no's, I just let the other person know that, hey, obviously this isn't the right place or the perfect time. When you're ready, please give me a call, because a closed mind takes 1,000 times the effort and energy in order to re-engineer than an open mind. And 50% of the time, the people never call me back. And the other 50% of the time, all I've done is accelerated the sales cycle. The actual value of the people not calling me back is far greater than the acceleration of the sales cycle, because the people that are accelerated in the sales cycle those deals just happen faster. That has some quantitative value, but the real quantitative value is the amount of time, emotion, money that I've wasted chasing closed minds that will never do business with me. So many people spend 80% of their time, emotion, and resources on deals that will never happen. They spend 80% of the time, money, and resources on those that bleed us in life, not that feed us. So look for open minds. Once you find an open mind, determine if they're a sponsor of yours, meaning they're willing to help you, or even better, if they are a power sponsor of yours, meaning that they will help you themselves and they know people that can help you.
Wow, I love this rule. And also, of course, the universal no is like the biggest no, but sometimes we don't get it when all the obstacles come into place to telling us that to not to do something. We still don't get it. We still try. But
Yeah,
I like how you explained
and
it.
the universal no is on engaged deals that are in my sales cycle. If you're cold calling, there's a 25 no rule that I have as well, which is, it takes 25 no's to get to a yes. So I'm one of those weird people that I get excited when I get a no, because every no I get from people when I'm in the cold calling or stimulating interest phase is just getting me that much closer to a yes.
Yeah, I heard this rule from, especially from real estate agents. They use it a lot because they always say that every no gets me closer to yes.
Yeah, exactly. And what a wonderful way to think about things. Once again, aligning with pain as an indicator to get us to a better place, a better situation, or make our situation better.
So true. What is your advice to someone who is struggling in business?
Well, first of all, lean in. So many people, they go ahead and they don't lean in when we're looking at struggles. If you're struggling in business, if you feel stuck, that means you're doing the right things. You just haven't seen the result. You see, it takes about 90% of the effort in order to get to an apparent result. So in other words, it takes about 90% of the effort to get to 25% of the way there. So what happens is 99% of the people quit before they get to 25% of the way there. But what aggravates me even more is of the 1% that continue on, it's only 5% more of the effort to get to 50% of the way there, but 99% of the 1% quit before they get to 50%, and then another 99 of that 1% quit before they get to 100. You see, it takes 90% of the effort to get to 25, but only 5% more when it doubles to 50, and only 5% more when it doubles to 100, 5% more than it doubles to 200. In fact, if you are consistent and persistent in the pursuit of that potential, not only will it keep doubling every 5%, but it actually will accelerate, which means it'll take less than 5% to double, which means that most people are quitting right before they actually make it.
Oh my God, I'm just amazed by the statistics. Like, who knew, right? So many people quit right before they could actually get to their end goal. And it just,
Yeah, there's my favorite poem. It's that Don't Quit poem. It's by Anonymous. And I send it out to everyone with my book, ebook, audiobook. I sign copies of my book, sending for free. So just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll send that poem and a book to you to remind you that you're almost there.
I love it. How can a busy person find time to start a side hustle?
Well, first of all, busy means unavailable. So what we want to look at things is in the manner of the man-made construct of time, activity. You see, everybody's given 24 hours of activity a day. You want to be as productive, meaning as much value as you can, accessible to as many people as you can, and accessing what you want, and gracious with your time. So if you look at things in the matter of activity I planned, activity I don't have planned, activity I get paid for, activity I don't get paid for, and even our sleep is an activity. When you start shifting the paradigm of perspective into activity, then you will not be busy. You will just be more and more active. So in order to facilitate what you call a side hustle, what we want to do is make sure that we're maximizing the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in the activities we have planned in order to provide more options, opportunity, and resources to take advantage of more options, opportunity, and resources, what other people define as a side hustle. So lean in by being productive, accessible, and gracious with the activity you have planned, and you'll have way more time for the activities you want to have planned that may not be planned at this time.
Very interesting. I like this approach. Why don't people ask for help? Some people are so afraid and so ashamed to ask for help that it's like they're begging someone for help, but it's so easy because actually, I mean, we help each other, and that's how we grow, because we create teams, and teamwork makes the dream work.
You got it. Well, most people are afraid to ask for help because they're not living in radical humility. They're living in what I call ignorant arrogance, that they can do it themselves, that they know what they're doing. You see, when you live in radical humility, when you live with ignorant humility, that I don't know what I don't know, you start to realize that the easiest way to get to where I want to be is find someone that's already there and ask them for directions. That's why I do so much mentorship. That's why I do free trainings every Friday. That's why I give my books, guides, exercises for free. I want to mentor, coach, and teach as many people as I can so that they don't have to pay the dummy tax. See, I can't pay your state or federal tax, but I can pay your dummy tax. Find someone that sits in the situation you want to be in and ask them for directions. When you know what you want, the next step should be to ask for help and also to provide service or value to others. Meaning, once you know what you want, you need to know who can help you or who you can help and ask for help.
I love how you said it, who can help you, and also like how you can help. So this is the best.
Yeah, that's the flow of the universe that allows us to clear the interference between us and the omniscient, all-powerful, all-being, allowing us to clear the interference between us and that source, because we are healthy, we are happy, we are wealthy, we are worthy. You just got to figure out what you're doing to interfere with it.
Wow. And would you please tell us more about your book and what inspired you to write it?
Yeah, so I have 4 books. The first book is Connected to Goodness, and I'd be happy to send the ebook, audiobook. I'll sign a copy, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book at david@dmeltzer.com. But I wrote that because what it does is it creates a pragmatic outline, like Think and Grow Rich, in order to effectuate manifesting or getting what you want in life, utilizing the principles that I learned through my journey of making over $100 million, losing it all and making it back again, by utilizing 4 principles and 7 key elements that allow us to get what we want rapidly and accurately. The second book is Compassionate Capitalism, that allows us to reconcile the abundance of the universe with the activities that we get paid for, to be a compassionate capitalist, to be a merchant servant, to allow us to provide value and service to others for a greater good. The third book I wrote with the extraordinary author, Jack Canfield, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, the man who sold over 500 million books. We wrote a book called Unstoppable, Creating the Life You Love. And it's a workbook, a 40-page book, which I'm happy to send as well. And then my last book I wrote with McGraw-Hill is Game Time Decision Making. How do we prioritize by knowing our what, our who, our how, and our now, and applying our why, shifting the paradigm of what we already are, what we're connected to and through, and how to clear the interference between that and that which we already are. These 4 books I'm more than happy to help with. So please reach out, david@dmeltzer.com.
Love it. This is incredible. And what's the best advice you can give to someone who is starting their own business or just starting to be an entrepreneur?
Well, first of all, don't discount staying in business. It's an evolution, not a revolution. There's no overnight successes. Everything aggregates, compounds, and accelerates upon itself. You need to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your own potential, not somebody else's potential. So don't listen to what other people want for you. Don't look at what's missing in your life or what you don't want, because you will manifest what other people want, what you don't want, or what's missing in your life, and you'll resent it. What you want to do is stay in business. Allow the evolvement to take place. Allow yourself to enjoy the mistakes, the pain, the failures, the setbacks. Use pain as an indicator, as a propeller to something better. Know that your purpose is far greater than that pain, that you don't have to quit, that as long as you're in business, you will get there. Detach your emotions from that outcome. Put your emotions into the enjoyment of the activity, not into the outcome that you think you want. Allow it to change by utilizing 5 daily practices, knowing your what, your who, your how, your now. Apply your why, and I promise you, you will get there sooner than you believe. Rapidly and accurately, you'll get exactly what you're supposed to be. Know the law of gravity. You're at the right place at the perfect time. Know the law of Goya. Get off your ass, make it happen. And know the law of allowance, that if you do utilize the law of attraction and the law of Goya, you will get everything you want, and it will come to you rapidly and accurately. You will allow it to come in an abundant world.
Wow, that's the best advice ever.
Thank you.
Thank you. And where can our listeners find you? Your social handles, all your information.
Yeah. So first, you can always just use David Meltzer, David Meltzer, everywhere. At David Meltzer, Google David Meltzer, or just email me directly. If you want any of my books, my guides, my exercises, they're all free. I'll send them to you, ship them to you. I'll pay for it all. David@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to doing this again.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you
Thank
for
you
being my guest.